magsasawa ang mga pangako.
People power really was a people revolution. So for me to state whatever is my participation, to me is insignificant. Because it was not my revolution.
Pumapatay. Nakakapagod din ang umasa, lalo't ang bituka ay walang laman. Napakailap sa mahirap ang hustisya, lalo't bansa'y hawak lang ng ilan. Nag-people power one, nag-people power two, ang buhay natin di pa rin nagbabago. Nag-people power one, nag-people power two, ngunit hindi pa rin tayo natututo.
I helped in organizing the RAM. I was a member of the core group. I took charge of the political aspect of the movement. Gringo and the others, Red Kapunan and others, they took care of the military aspect of the operation, which was critical at that moment because it was an operation that has potential for violence. We were decided that the only solution is to bring down the incumbent government at the time by force if necessary. If you may call it the ideology of RAM, is really to alter the basic problems of Philippine society, the mother of all our problems. And that is the linkage between our business elite and our political elite. It's the oligarchy and, for that matter, both the political and the economic oligarchy. We feel that if we can do this, then we can transfer over time the power over state, which this people controls, to the people. But in practical terms, to make the revolution, the action at that time succeed, our primary concern was the people's support. Because at that time, the armed forces was alienated from the people because they were all perceived by the people as being the tuta, so-called, of the Marcos. No? But we knew who were the people that, who were the leaders, the people we listened to, like Cardinal Sin, like Corazon Aquino. And in the military, it was General Ramos. So one of my operational tasks is to talk to them. And I did talk to them before the action with Cardinal Sin 2 weeks before, with Corazon Aquino about 3 weeks before, with former President Ramos. I talked to him just 3 days before because there was no need to talk to him. I knew from my heart that he'll be with us. So it's just really to brief him of the final decisions that we had to take, which was February 22, evening of 1986.
Nag-people power one, nag-people power.
We had plan of, if we succeeded, for a plan for a government of national unity, etc. We decided not to inflict harm on the family. We just captured them, Marcos and the family, and let them face a people's court. Let the people decide what to do with them, etc., etc. These were some of the decisions at the time. But as you know, these things did not happen because we were exposed. So this is more or less what I did. And when we took the action, they all helped. Cardinal Sin helped, Corazon Aquino helped, and President Ramos took over the leadership. And that is what happened. We thought of, we planned for a government, what we call it, government of national unity, composed of 7 people. Corazon Aquino, Cardinal Sin, Rafael Salas, the late Salas, the late Jaime Ongpin, Alex Melchor, Johnny Ponce Enrile, the Secretary of Defense, where this RAM, by the way, was hatched in his office. Well, at least in his compound there. And former President Ramos. So this is the transition government, supposedly to prepare the nation for a new constitution and an election. But this did not happen again, no? The armed forces, after '86, decided, which to me was the correct decision, to give it to Cory Aquino. And if I may say so, it was our commitment in RAM that if we succeed in our action, we as soldiers will return to the barracks. The U.S. and here they were trying to get in touch with us. We talked to them. Insofar as we were concerned, we refused any assistance from the U.S. There were some offers, but we refused. In fact, I was the one involved in that. We thought that for so long as they understand what we're doing, then we don't need anything except the understanding. There came a point when I think Reagan realized that in the interest of the United States, he had to convey a message to Marcos to cut clean, you know. And this was delivered by Senator Logar, I think. And so, in fact, it was the U.S. who facilitated it. They picked up Marcos and brought him to Honolulu. That facilitated the whole thing. So if you say the participation of the United States, that was the participation. But insofar as we were concerned, at least from what I know, we refused any system. The 87 Constitution, or the so-called Cory Constitution, reflects, in many ways, the sentiments of the people at that time, including the military. No one can deny that it was the RAM that initiated the action. This was recognized by the framers of the Constitution. They provided a provision where the armed forces of the Philippines is the protector of the people and the state. Now, this is a very radical provision, but it is there. In fact, it was debated at that time. Up to now, it is being challenged that it is kind of license for the military to invoke in order to intervene in politics. You have to understand that the series of coups during the Cory administration were induced by circumstances at the time. It was so tragic that when Cory took over, there was a very strong element in the Cory government who seemed to have hated the military. The military was made to feel that they were not part of this thing, you know. And so they felt persecuted. I'm sad that that happened. I wish that those who took over were more far-reaching in their view about the political situation. John Enrile, you know, at that time, after EDSA, to the credit of President Corazon Aquino, I was given a special privilege by Cory to be with her all the time. And one of the things that I had to do is to coordinate between John Enrile, General Ramos, and Corazon Aquino. Every day I talked to them. And John Enrile told me, Joe, you tell Cory that I want to be president. I said, that is a legitimate ambition of anyone. And tell her that I cannot be president unless I serve her. So I want to serve her because I want to be president. And I will serve her faithfully, so she will help me become president. Number 3, however, if they do not want my help, they reject my personal ambition, anyway, we are going through an election. Then tell them that I also know how to fight. The whole thing happened differently. So they had personal grievances. That's why, you know, after the 87 coup, the first one, the demand was to remove this group. Sila Joker, and 3 other cabinet members. I'll not mention their names anymore. That was the problem of that government. So I would say I'm not justifying the coup. They were also maybe quote-unquote ambitious, but I think those things could be managed if the established government at that time were more farsighted in that sense.
People power one, nag-people power two.
There is a common element in both, and that is the sense of a compelling moral imperative. In both cases, that was present. If a compelling moral imperative is absent, you cannot have a people power. When the second envelope happened, it was not open. What was the implication of that? Now, to my reading, the implication is clear that the political leadership refused to do their duty, which is to inform the people of what is the truth. That it was clear to the people that they will lose their freedom. In the sense that if they are not well informed, they cannot make decisions. So that is, in effect, losing their freedom. So to me, it was a very clear demonstration that what we said before, that we would like power to be transferred to the people, at least to that extent, on that particular issue. It was the people who exercised the sovereign power.
Kahit nag-get sa 3, kahit mag-get sa 4.
I stopped at EDSA too because what happened in May 2001 was not people power 3. Because you cannot buy people power. Those people there were paid by the political leaders, the Arab group, who were removed from Malacanang. So I do not consider that as people power 3. Although for certain political accommodation, maybe they call it people power 3. But for historical purposes, I think it will not be fair to the Filipino people to call that people power.
Ngunit hindi pa rin tayo natututo.
All those talks are talks. They will always be there. But let me put it this way. It's not any faction or any institution or any individual in the Philippines who can make EDSA action happen. This is the people themselves. So I say that for so long as there is no compelling moral imperative. EDSA 1 happened, what did the military do? They gave it to Corazon Aquino. EDSA 2 happened, did the military take over the political leadership? No. The nation may not appreciate that very much. But I tell you, this is a basic contribution of the military, with which I think the Filipino people should be grateful. The military has very simple requirement. Just provide them the equipment, the resources they need to discharge their mission. Now, that's what the military needs. The military is not like before in the military in Latin America. The highest rank of an army officer is to be president.
Ang mga buitre, bantay sa lakay ng mga lider ng nasyon. Kahit nag-get sa 3, kahit mag-get sa 4, ang buhay natin di pa rin magbabago. Kahit mag-people power, tayo ang talo. Hanggat hindi tayo natututo.